This is, in my opinion, one of the most important things when training arms that people overlook. If you want big arms, you have to do this.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube. We are currently 21 weeks out, and today I'm going to be showing you how to grow some massive arms. Now, it goes without saying my arms are not the best, but I do think they are one of my most improved body parts from this off season. So I'm going to take you through all the tips, the tricks, and the secrets and the cheat codes on how I actually grew these arms over the last kind of 2.5 years. So we're in to train chest and arms today. This session comprises 2 chest presses, a lateral raise movement, and then I've got 3 tricep and 2 bicep movements, I believe. This is one of my kind of higher volume sessions, but it's not very kind of taxing because the 2 presses, or the 2 chest exercises are just like a cable press and a pec deck. Then I just got, laterals and then like a, tricep and bicep exercises. But, I will kind of take you through the session, try and give some kind of, constructive pointers as I'm going along through the session. Chloe is gonna try and record a couple of clips for me as well. She's bargained with me that if I take a couple of photos of her on the camera, she's going to record a couple of clips for me. Aren't you, Chloe?
That's if you send me the photos.
That's if I send her the photos, because the last time I took photos of her,
he never sent them.
They're still on the camera, pretty much. Well, what can I say, So we'll take a camera downstairs to Ryan's for our pre-workout now in a little while, catch up with the crew, and then we'll be with you in the gym. Don't ever take that tone with me again.
Gym dishing out the facts. Yes, people, what is going on? So we've got pre-workout crew. Yemi's in the house. Ryan, Jim, of course, you already seen giving out to Ryan. Normally we come to Ryan's pre-workout, watch something for a little bit of motivation. It's normally Andrew Tate, motivational speeches, embrace masculinity, reject modernity. That's the one, isn't it? Embrace masculinity, reject modernity. If you don't know, type it in YouTube and look it up. You'll see the videos. Not before you finish watching my video though. Do it after. But today we've got a bit of Papa Coob on for the motivation. Oh yeah, Kappa Boob. Fuck's sake, my brain is broken. Now we've got the heavy crew. Oh yeah.
I gave you a couple already.
Here we go, boys. Let's roll these sleeves up first so I look massive. Alright guys, exercise number 1 here, we've got a D-handle cable chest press. So set up on this, I like to use the foam roller here, just so that I can get like a little bit more further back, and it just kind of supports me a little bit more of a range of motion. I kind of pause in the stretch and then I kind of drive forward. I also use these Kaz handles. They have a little bit of a thicker grip, so I find when I use these, I can press more through my palm and I don't feel it as much on my forearm. With a regular D handle, you're grabbing it very tight, and as you're pressing forward, you can kind of very easily kind of bend at the elbows and you just don't get the same contraction, I find, when you use these. Now obviously these Kaz Prime handles aren't going to be in a lot of gyms, but what I tell a lot of my clients to use if they're just using regular D handles is actually these fat grips. So a lot of gyms do have these fat grips. Put these around the regular D handle if you are doing a cable D handle chest press, and you'll just find that it's just a lot better of a movement. You can engage your chest a little bit better, right? So I'm going to do a couple of warm-ups here. Some more key points on this movement is what you want to try and think about here is pushing yourself back into the bench, okay? I often see on like a cable fly or a cable press, people often kind of protract and round their shoulders, especially towards the tail end of the rep, just to get that weight up. You don't want to do that, okay? You want to keep your chest up, your shoulders pinned back, and think about pushing yourself into the bench as you kind of bring your 2 elbows in to meet each other. We don't want a bear hug here, we just want to bring our elbows straight forward. Think about driving our 2 biceps into the pec. Just for the warm up here, I'll just pull these forward. So exercise number 2, we have got the pec deck. Similar thing here as on the D-handle chest press. We want to make sure shoulders do not come forward. What we're trying to think about here as well is driving our two elbows in to meet each other, right? You often see people kind of bear hugging like this on a pec deck. That is not going to be working your chest whatsoever. Even if you hold your hands out in front of you and just do this and then completely straighten them out and drive your two biceps into your pec, you're going to feel that contraction there. So that's what we want to make sure of on every single rep. Even on the last rep, when you are getting fatigued and you're approaching failure, resist the urge to just do this, just to get the weight up. You want to still keep the chest up, keep your shoulders back, and just drive those elbows in to meet each other, right? We don't want to let the hands touch. We don't want to come that far. Literally just with the arms straight out ahead of us, and that'll be absolutely perfect, right? So I will just demonstrate now. Here as well, we want a nice pause in the stretch, okay? Come forward, contract for 2 seconds. Nice and slow, eccentrics, control that weight, don't let it control you. Pause in the stretch here again, and then drive forward, right? So what we really want to do here is reduce momentum. You often see people just do this on a pec deck, okay? You're not going to get as much out of the movement as if you come back. Pause in that stretch when your pec is fully lengthened, okay? Elbows beside your torso, do not let your elbows go too far back. Again, that's just going to get the shoulders into play. Drive forward, elbows into meet each other, contract, nice and slow, elbows back beside the body, full stretch in the pec, drive again, okay? And then we'll left the right side back, we'll let the left side back. Another little tip on the pec deck, okay? Don't let it just fucking slam you back. That is my pet peeve. See people do it all the time, clients included. You're just gonna fuck your shoulders up. Right guys, exercise number 3 here. We've got the Atlantis lateral raise machine. So a very important thing on this is gonna be the setup, right? This pivot point here is where the machine actually moves. So we wanna make sure our shoulders are lined up with this. If I step up on this platform, way off. So I'm not gonna grab it there, do my lateral raise. I have to put this the whole way down to the bottom, right? Now, second thing on this as well, and on any other lateral raise movement, right? When you're doing a lateral raise, make sure when you come down that you keep your hands about 2 inches out of your pocket, okay? Because even if you hold your hands here, no tension on the shoulders. If you come out here, you can feel that tension on your shoulders. If you have dumbbells, right, you have zero tension here. The second you start to raise them out to the side, you feel that tension on your shoulders. So what you really want to make sure of with this is that as you come up, right, you're going to pause with that contraction at the top. When you come back down, you're not going to come across your body like this, okay? You keep that weight there. There's still tension on your shoulders. You stop for a second, again, to reduce momentum, and you drag back up, okay? Think about a dragging motion on this movement, right? We do not want to be doing this and just swinging our arms up, swinging at the bottom, use momentum top and bottom. We want to drag that weight up to the top, hold the contraction in our shoulders, slowly lower the weight back down again, okay? And then stop about here. So just going to demonstrate that for you now. So again, we come out, hold the tension here, up, slight pause, nice and slow and controlled on the way down, back up, slow down again, back up. You can see here as well, I'm not just bringing my arms the whole way up here, because the second your elbows get up past your shoulders, you're just going to be engaging your traps, okay? So you do not want to avoid, or you want to avoid doing that. So I'll just do my working weight here now, just so you know that I'm keeping my form standardized on my working weight sets as well, right? So exercise number 4 here, we've got a narrow grip Smith press for the triceps. What I like to do on this is kind of take a grip that's most comfortable for me personally. I know a lot of people like a very, very narrow grip for the triceps, but I just find a very narrow grip for me on any presses just completely fucks my wrist. So I like to grab, you know, probably the knurling with like my second finger here. So as you can see, still pretty wide grip. You know, a lot of people probably do a chest press with that, but for me, I can connect well with my triceps on this. So what I would advise on a narrow grip press is just pick a grip position that feels comfortable for you, doesn't lead to elbow issues, doesn't lead to wrist issues, and you know, you can get a good pump with it, right? So on this narrow grip Smith press, what I have is a 2-second pause here, right? So you'll notice that across a lot of my exercises. I kind of take a pause in the stretch, especially for triceps. I think it's super beneficial, and that's something I'm going to talk about once I move on to the kind of arm isolation exercises. But you'll notice here, as I come down on this Smith press, I pause about 2 seconds at the bottom and also about 2 inches above my chest, right? Here is where I'm getting the most kind of stretch out my triceps. That kind of pause again reduces the momentum. I can feel the tension on my triceps, and then when I press up, I'm pressing solely with my triceps alone, and not just kind of bouncing out the hole and kind of using that momentum, you know? Take two, fuck's sake. Some technical difficulties there. Chloe fucked up my camera. Anyway guys, then we're on to arms. So this is what the whole title of this video is going to be about. How I basically brought my arms up over this kind of 2.5 year off season. They're still not great, but they're a little bit better, right? So this is, in my opinion, one of the most important things when training arms that people overlook. If you want big arms, you have to do this, okay? And what this is going to be focusing on the tempo, okay? Making sure you're pausing in the stretch position and make sure you're contracting hard in that shortened position, right? So just demonstrate this now with a bicep curl. So bicep curl facing the stack. I want to make sure you spend the time letting the bicep stretch out at the bottom, curl that way up towards your forehead, and you hold that contraction and you squeeze here. Mind muscle connection is very important. Slowly lower the weight back down, okay? Full control at all times. Pause in the stretch and come back up, okay? What we want to remove here, right, when we're training biceps and when we're training triceps, is the use of momentum, okay? So you don't want to just swing this way up like that, right? Nice and slow and controlled. Your bicep is doing the work the whole time. You're pausing here so that you're not using that momentum just to get the weight back up. I see it all the time. People come back, they do this, they shift their torso away, they're just throwing that weight back up, and they're not actually using their bicep, right? They're going to use their shoulder, or they're going to use their hips, or they're going to use some other part of their body to get that weight up, right? The goal should not be to cheat and make movement easier. We always want to make sure we're making the movement as hard as possible. And I found on arms, this is one of the most important things, right? Even if you're doing the triceps, right? It's what I want to move on to next, because I'm going to give Chloe a break from the camera woman duties after this clip. On a tricep exercise, I think the pause and the stretch here is probably the most important thing, right? Because you want to make sure you have that tension here. Elbows fully bent. I can feel my tricep working there already. Okay, I come down, full contraction, hold and squeeze. I come back up, and again, instead of just bouncing back down, using my shoulder to get the weight down, using that momentum, I'm going to come up, keep my upper arm completely fixed in place, pause in the stretch here, 1, 2, and then push back down. When you reduce the momentum, when you pause in the stretch, when you drive back down, it's just going to be your tricep that's working. It's not going to be your shoulder. You're not going to be shifting, you know, your torso to get that weight down. And I think another thing with arms is, and all exercises, make sure you standardize your reps, okay? The last rep of the exercise needs to look exactly the same as the first rep, okay? So even as I'm fatiguing towards the end here, what you'll often see is people just speed up, okay? So they'll start off the set, they'll be doing these nice kind of pauses, you know, nice contraction. Then the weight starts to get a little bit heavier. They start to rush through it a little bit more, and they start to use momentum. Make sure, even when your arms are on fire and they're absolutely burning, that you're keeping that nice same tempo, right? If you're at the end of the set, your arms are blowing up, just stick with it and just keep that tempo going, okay? This, I believe, has been the biggest game changer for me in bringing up my arms, because they used to be absolutely shit. And as well on legs, I found that this focus on tempo, focus on standardization of reps has been a game changer. So that was good flow, wasn't it? Take two, even better. Whoop, whoop. Right, so. Good. 22 kg. Single arm dumbbell curls. Fucking animal. Max reps. Fuck. Rolling. All right, people, so last exercise here, we've got an overhead tricep extension. Now, I actually like to use the Vulcan rope for this because you can kind of put your hand in it like that, and I just find it's a little bit better. So I believe you can get these on like Amazon. Would be a good investment if they're not in your gym. They're good for doing tricep pushdowns with, and I really like them for an overhead extension. If not, maybe use an overhead extension with a cuff rather than a rope, because the rope's gonna be a little bit difficult to kind of grab, and then you're kind of like twisting your wrist at the top more so than if it was just a cuff. I find when you just have your hand wrapped around something already and you don't have to apply pressure to it, you feel it a little bit more in the tricep, and again, less in the forearms, right? So only very small things here, but these little nuances I think definitely matter. So I'm also doing my overhead extensions up against the back of a preacher curl bench. So there's two reasons I like to do this. Number one is that I get good back support, because anytime I'm standing up sometimes and I'm trying to like brace my core and stuff, you get a little lower back pain, you tend to wobble all over the place. Whereas with this, I kind of plant my feet here, I can push myself up against the bench, and then I'm really locked in. Second reason is I actually like to use this to crack my back as well. Oh, lovely. So multifunctional, this preacher curl bench. Right, let's get into the set. This is like 24.6 kilos, so it's fucking heavy as fuck for triceps, but well, relatively. So again here on this, you want to come down to the very bottom, want to hold here for 2 seconds. You'll feel a huge stretch with your triceps, and then it's very difficult to get the weight up and contract. Nice and slow on the way down, bend that elbow as much as you possibly can. Come the whole way down, 1, 2, and drive back up again. Lovely. Okay guys, that is chest and arms wrapped up. Hopefully there was some useful pointers in there that you can apply to your own training. I'll try and do this for a couple of other sessions as we kind of move along through prep. I'm only literally just back feeling good after catching fucking AIDS for about a week. I was very bad clothes, wasn't I? So yeah, we're finished now. I'm just gonna pose with my top on for you, because I don't think the top off, I don't think the top off is worthy of a physique update just yet, especially since I'm only off the back of being a little bit sicker. I'm only down like fucking 1.6 kilos since the start of prep, so nothing to write home about yet. So I'll just leave you waiting in anticipation, just tease you until you get a proper physique update out of me. But yeah, that's the session wrapped up. Is there anything else I want to cover in this video? I don't think it is. No. So that's the session wrapped up. If you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with all your friends, and I will catch you in the next one.